Today we're talking about a new article from Business Insider, which goes over the 17 spots in the state of Florida that are most likely to have some price decreases because they've had a very dramatic increase year over year of the amount of homes for sale, the inventory. But it's not really about the list that I'm going to be talking about. It's a lot of other things that they mention in this article that is super interesting. By the way, my name is Maciek Zremba. I'm in Sarasota, Florida, taking a walk at Twin Lakes Park, just off of Clark Road, east of the interstate. And I'm a real estate agent in Sarasota. I'm also a real estate investor. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments. I'll reply personally. So here's what this article talks about. Super interesting. First of all, since this has been tracked, the number of homes that have been listed in any particular month. They started tracking this in, I think 2016 or so. And we have hit a record. This is the highest number ever since tracking it, which is not even a decade, but still, they started tracking this, and this is the highest number we've ever had. In February 2025, it hit the absolute most homes for sale, coming in at 168,000, over 168,000 new listings. And you know, one thing that it doesn't talk about, that these metrics, it doesn't ever take into account the number of new construction homes on the market that's not listed on the MLS. Because you see, a lot of new construction homes don't hit the MLS. They kind of just put 1, 2, or 3 model homes on the MLS. And then when it comes to what's actually available or what will soon be available, that stuff usually never hits the public MLS, where a lot of this data comes from. Now, when you zoom out from any particular area and you look at the entire state of Florida, here's what's crazy. From February 2024 to February 2025, we had an increase of over 40% more homes for sale. Now, if you're a buyer, that is excellent news. But if you're a seller, think about it like this. You are competing with so many new properties. So if you've been listed for, 6 months or so on the market, you have now a lot more competition than you did back when you listed it. You've already probably had lots of price reductions, and still here we are not selling because you have a lot more competition. And you're probably thinking, well, not in my market. In my market, everything is fine. We have the same amount or maybe less listings. And that is a possibility. But out of the 252 metro areas tracked in the state of Florida, guess how many had less listings in February 2025 compared to last year? Guess how many? Out of 252, only 7 areas had less listings. Now, are you in one of those 7? Maybe, but fat chance that you are. You're probably not in one of those areas. And I know that my area, Sarasota, Manatee County, which encompasses a whole bunch of cities like Lakewood Ranch and Venice and Sarasota and Bradenton, Anna Maria Island, Siesta Key, all these beautiful areas, they were not on the list of 7 that had less inventory. And all economists always look at the inventory as like the biggest leading indicator of what's to happen. What's going to happen if inventory keeps rising? And it's not just like February to February. 2024 to 2025 that had an increase in inventory. It's like every single month it pretty much has an increase in inventory for way over a year. They're only comparing 1 year in this statistic in this article, but it's way more than that. So our inventory levels are the leading indicator of, guess what? Price decreases. Crash? Well, maybe. I don't think so, but maybe. It's possible that it's just going to become a quick race to the bottom, and then eventually there will be a place where the rock bottom gets hit, where prices just won't go below that, because as soon as they hit the market at that price, someone buys it up. I mean, quite frankly, there is a number in my head that if houses hit that particular number, the prices of the houses hit that number, I'm going to go and find money to invest into Florida, because I know it's going to be a win, because the return on investment is going to be really good compared to the rent rates. And that's the whole thing. There's always a number that an investor is going to say yes to. okay? And it's not today's numbers. Now, that's not to say that there aren't any decent investor deals, because there really are. I am looking at, duplexes, triplexes, 6-10 unit properties all the time, because I have a few clients who are interested in looking at that kind of stuff. And if you're thinking about investing in real estate in Florida, let me know, because I can help you crunch some numbers and let you know if your expectations are realistic or not. But let's just say double-digit returns, not happening right now. So now you shoppers, you buyers out there that are looking in the state of Florida, you're in a good position. What I've seen out there is approximately 10% under full price. So that's the kind of offer that people are starting to make. Now, 10% off is amazing when you're considering the largest asset that you probably will ever own, right? Just imagine buying the most expensive thing out there at 10% off. Forget about getting 10% off on, like a Starbucks coffee or something like that. Think about like a $700,000 house that you picked up for $630, because there's too many homes for sale, and there are just some people that have to sell, and they will sell at the right price, or at sometimes any price. Now, I'm going to go over the list in just a second, but another thing I want to mention is property taxes in the state of Florida. Usually they're right around like 1.2, 1.3, 1.4% of the purchase price. So as an example, at 1.4% of a $400,000 house, you're going to be at what, $4,800 a year on your property taxes? Well, guess what is happening now? It's really going to start being reflected when the bills come out, the tax bill comes out in November 2025. Prices are going to go down because a lot of homes were deemed to be uninhabitable, and that is because we had hurricanes and we had floods, and we had a lot of flooding, and actually so much so that there are areas of our beautiful areas of Siesta Key and Longboat Key, Anna Maria Island, all these places that I have been frequenting, for 30 years, that got flooded so much that the county deemed them uninhabitable, and now they're going to only be taxed on the land value. So that's good and bad. We could talk about that in a different video if you guys are interested. Let me know in the comments if so. But let's go over the places, the 17 places that are probably going to have price decreases soon because of the unbelievably large number of inventory from year over year. Now, a lot of these places are extremely small metro areas, but let's go over it. Number one, the Villages. If you don't know about the Villages, Google about the Villages and their upside down pineapples and all that. But the Villages was number 17 on the list, and they have 76.5% more listings in 2025 than they did in 2024. Crazy, 75%, that's almost double. And listen, this is number 17 on the list. It only goes up from there. I'm going to go over this list real quick. Number 16 is Oldsmar at 76.7% more. Number 15 is Tequesta. I have no idea where that is. That is 76.8. Next one, number 14, Green Acres, and Green Acres has 78.9% more inventory. Then we have number 13, Fort Myers Beach at 83.1%. We're getting closer to doubling. Then number 12, everybody loves this area, St. Augustine, Florida, America's oldest city. And St. Augustine had 84.2% more listings in 2025. Number 11, Tavares, once again, I don't know this metro area. It is not in my neck of the woods. However, they had 92.4. Then number 10, Harmony, Florida, 100% more listings. That is a double. If you can't do math, that is double the number of listings that they had in 2025 compared to 2024. Now, Royal Palm Beach is number 9, and they had also 100% more. Number 8 on the list is Ave Maria. Now, they had 106.6% more homes for sale. This is getting worse and worse, but we have 7 more to go. Speaking of which, number 7 is St. John's. St. John's had 115.7% 20% more listings. Then number 6, St. James City, they had 115.8% more listings. And number 5, Dania Beach at 118.2. I'm telling you, this is getting worse and worse. Number 4, Miami Gardens, they had 120.7% more. Number 3 is Pace, Florida, 128.2%. Number 2, Citrus Springs at 136.5, almost 1.5 times as much. And number 1, just not even 45 minutes north from where I live, St. Petersburg, Florida, 164.1% more listings in February 2025. Now, if you're a shopper in the St. Pete area, let me tell you something. You got options. You have negotiation power. You can select from a whole bunch of homes for sale, and you can probably go in there, ask for some seller concessions, offer a lower price, and get some credit at closing on top of that.